I found this set of DVDs from the very first time I went on an adventure ride. Mike Payne and I went out to the High Rock Desert, which is outside of Gerlach, where there's a 30-mile long playa out there, and we decided to go up to Soldiers Meadows, which was about 50 miles north of there. Neither one of us had done any real adventure riding. I didn't know anything about tire pressures. I didn't know anything about standing up on the pegs. Mike knew a little bit about it just from reading stuff. But we were all for it and ready to go on our first adventure. Mike on his 650 V-Strom and me on a Triumph Tiger 955i, and we had a blast. The video is from a Gen 1, Gen 2 GoPro early on, so it's not the clearest of all, but I think you'll get the gist of what we did. We stayed at the main lodge right here, and it gets cold at night out in the desert in April, the high desert. So this was the little cabin that we stayed at that had a really nice wood stove in it, and it saved our butts. And then the next morning we headed out of Soldier Meadows, heading north to seek some new adventures and stuff we'd never done before.
Just wanted to take it in. There's some places you just like, wow. This is amazing country out here.
It's beautiful.
It is just so different. And this road that just goes on forever through it all is so cool.
Yeah.
How's everything feeling this morning? Everything good?
Yep.
Body and bike?
Yep.
Right on. Well, lead on, buddy. We'll trade off back and forth. Don't go too fast, though. Oh, yeah! Woo! Well spotted, Bob. That's a bunch of them.
Those are deer.
The first water crossing, huh?
Neither one of us had ever done any kind of a water crossing, and we came up to this thing, and I swear to God, I edited this down, but this literally took us 20 to 30 minutes before we got through this thing. We checked it out every angle you could possibly think of before we went across, and we were petrified going across.
Thinking right on top of the sagebrush?
Huh?
Thinking about riding on top of the sagebrush there?
Yeah, because the only problem is going through there. If you put your foot down on the left-hand side,
Yeah.
the bucket's going to go right out from under you. I don't know, you want me to try? I can try first going through here, and then if I get stuck, whatever, the two of us can back it out, I suppose.
I'll go first for you. You
Huh?
went first. I'll go first. You went first yesterday.
Well, I don't mind.
Yeah?
Mine's already up, so let me go first.
Well, if you want, I can walk behind you. Maybe that's the way to do it. Take two people
Just
through.
in case I fall in.
Well, just in case you start leaning to the left, I can maybe help you keep it upright, you know? Of course, back here I get better video. Don't go too far to the right.
You spinning?
No, you're not spinning. But I wouldn't stop in the middle of it. I'd try to just go slow. Alright! Alright! Woo! You can probably, instead of what I did, standing right behind you, you can probably stand off to one side a little bit too.
Okay.
spin it, did I?
No.
Good.
And so the mighty adventurers had successfully passed their first water crossing, and they were feeling pretty darn good about it. But what came later in the day, no one should ever have to go through on their first adventure. We started up this nasty hill, and I was standing up in spots, but leaning backwards. I didn't know you were supposed to lean forward. And so anyways, make a long story short, you're going to see how I darn near destroyed my Triumph after I dropped it about 3 times on this hill. I had busted off my foot peg, had to use a pair of vice grips the rest of the trip, not realizing that I could have taken off the passenger peg and put it on there, but I didn't. I smashed my right pannier, kind of a thing, scratched it all up and the whole thing. I ended up just doing a lot of stuff, but had an absolutely great time. And you can see as we did our second water crossing here, we were full of it, and we thought we were doing great stuff now. Just an unbelievable trip, absolutely amazing. And now we're going to head home back through the Playa, which is a 30-mile long dry lake bed, to Gerlach, Nevada, and then home to Sacramento.